Okay. Back like I never left. All right. So we want to wrap up where we left off. Reconnect. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Two-factor authentication. All right, let's wrap this up. So this is part D of the Agentic Commerce Protocol. And we are implementing Agentic Commerce Protocol. Let me see if I can find it. Where's our page that we had up and running? All of our tabs. Here we go. It's kind of where we left off. Talking about a few things. We're back to the Agentic Commerce Protocol. Boom. Get our tabs open. Let's open. Yeah. My YouTube window, Facebook window. Can't open my Twitch window. Error occurred. Please try again later. I'll reconnect that some other time. Okay, got everybody open. Now, let's see what's going on. All right, we have all the information from the data. Now what we're going to do, we also have our test platform ready. We have some product catalogs, so I'm going to have it generate some fake products in here, and then we're going to connect it to the ACP through our checklist. So we're going to go through this checklist, implement ACP product protocol. Okay, so first we're going to set up a feature. I have some workflows, and I've talked through my workflows in previous session, so I won't talk through it here. We're just going to get straight to building. Let's go first task. Okay, I need to test it. So the first thing we want to do is just create a way to create products on the fly. I want to do some synthetic products, so just dropping synthetic data in there. just going to pass it. The more detail I provided, the better. It's going to understand exactly what I'm trying to accomplish. And that should help to build out a little bit more. So use context 7, do some research, use help with planning. What else do I need to do? Oh, what? It's going to do that. It's going to do some planning. Oh, yeah, I want to. Actually, you know what? Let's do DeepSeek. I don't need something really expensive. I just need something cheap. What do I already have? I already have. All right, let's plan this feature out. We are building the Agentic Commerce Protocol. We're just running a platform to do the Agentic Commerce Protocol. And we are using AI to help build out the application that's going to run the protocol. Should make it nice and simple. It's going to be a Next.js application. I mean, I know we have the, what do we have? We have the, we could just use regular Express just because it's just an API, but we do have some pages that are going to get built out. Let's open this bad boy again. I don't think DeepSeek generates images. While that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and go to DeepSeek. It's been a while since I've been on DeepSeek. Let's go ahead and get an API key. Yep, that's exactly what I want. Can't remember what account I did on DeepSeek. It wasn't this one, was it? No, it was this one. Data. Where's the API? Trying to find DeepSeek's API. I can't for the life of me. Find the DeepSeek API. DeepSeek platform. There we go. DeepSeek platform. My monthly expenses, 18 cents. This is for Stripe. Work it out. This is for DeepSeek. Yeah, let's make it for a limited time. And we'll just delete that later. Cool. Let's keep it going. Got everything I want. We install Zod. We install AI SDK. Stripe. And then when I place you in, make sure it understands what it has to do, which is create the job queue feature, not execute on the task. So it's going to focus on creating the feature and not executing. Bum, 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 bum. Feels like every day for something. Work it out. No. Nah, man, do your job. Do your job. There we go. All right, let's get to it. I want to save my tokens. And I don't want Klein burning through them by writing everything. So remember, we talked about this concept here of full context, feature context, task context. Right now we're going into our task context. Boom. Once we get in here, then we're going to start moving on. So now we see we have our job queue and our feature, which is our Stripe product generator. It's going to be one feature. So our Stripe product generator has a FRD associated with it. So our feature requirement document and everything that's in this folder is going to be associated with our feature. And then we're going to scale down to our tasks and then scale down to the agent, at which point we run the rest of this pipeline. You were there for something, work it out. So we're watching this whole flow happen live. That's what you, baby, you were there for something. Is anybody online? No, it's just me. It's random, but you know, I just want a history that this was actually done. Put it out there. I was building all this stuff. I was doing all these things before it was the hip thing to do. And then we'll look back and go, dang, this dude had a history. It already did it. I'm not going to rehash all the, get into like the lower levels of what it's generating, just know we have like a full context. It's not partial, it's the whole show. Sometimes it's more than what we need, but that's where I get into letting Claude decide, what are the things that are the most important. It's going to work through a lot. I mean, we have like the full context of what this needs to be. See, it's moving, it's creating things I don't think are necessary. Scripts, generate products, deep seek client logic, integration, product builder, product creator, variants, tier generation, product calculator. Okay, it's just organizing the code, which is fine. I think the other thing I might add, just based on the product generator, is a project importer. Maybe I'll have like JSON or something. Nah, I ain't worried about all that. Ain't gonna worry about all that. I'm just gonna go live. Things we should consider. All right, cool. High level architecture for what we're building is done. The task is pretty simple. I hope this won't become a long list. Let's keep it simple, people. 30 minutes here, 45 minutes here. Yeah, these look like simple tasks. Jeez. All right, now. Let's see what it generated. This looks crazy. Man, you still going? Okay, Klein, you might be a little wild for this one. Someone said, if you have it do a task, it tries to fill out everything. So it has enough context in the window. It tries to fill up more of the context window instead of going, all right, I got enough. But that's where we consolidate what it actually did. So let's go open with markdown preview. So now it's done. So I'm gonna get a quick look at what this thing got. That was so simple. All right, phase 2. I do want to read it over because a lot of times it'll generate content that's not really relevant. So I just want to update our context so we know and understand when we talk about variant, we're not talking about Stripe variants where it's a variation, but it's a new product. So we're going to change that definition up a little bit so it understands that. And task list. It's going to go through our documents anytime we mention this. Sure, everybody has the same multiple product generation. I think I should be able to call it done after this. Boom. Let's clear out the context. Take another look at the task list. I mean, the thing about this for me is I'm gonna take the time to read through it because this is like my shot. And if this is bad, then the whole thing is bad. But if this is great, then I do it once. So why not take the time and do it slow? Mm, 12 to 15 hours, blah, 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 blah. This is super easy, but I like how it's like really comprehensive and it makes it really clear what we want to accomplish. Because we're probably not going to make it that hard. And it'll probably fly through this pretty fast. So let's go ahead and run it. Boom, we got it. Got our unique identifier. Everything's good. Start new task. Don't need this anymore. We'll come back to this later. So we're gonna close this out for right now because the first thing we need to do is crush that. I'm gonna clear this. Boom. We're gonna restart it. Boom, 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 boom. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, let's do it again. All right, so now we're going to add the feature. We're going to add the task list. Copy. Then we're going to add the phase. And then we're going to add our instructions. Make sure we're in plan mode. We're going to use sub-agents in parallel. Boom. All right, and let's get it cracking. And we'll see now, again, we're in feature mode. We're now going from feature mode and we're zooming in on our task related context. So now it's going to go, all right, I got the full feature and I have a breakdown of the task, but I'm going to need to build out some task related context. So that's what we're going to see in our planning stage. So let me see if we can actually show it. Oh, planning mode doesn't show it. So we'll see the check boxes when we get out of this thing. But again, we zoom in each level and we reduce, every time we do it, we reduce what it needs to read. Now it's kind of figured out how to organize my code. It's taking a task. I reviewed the task list. I've identified several critical issues that will prevent parallel execution, increment builds, waterfall dependencies, no working prototypes early, refine plan for phase 1. Boom, we're going to group some tasks together and incremental integration. Then vertical slice, boom, boom, boom. Task A, minimal working prototype. Front end dev, back end dev, back end dev. I'm not sure it's catching my agent. Let me see. That's weird it would call it that. No, there they are. Let's see if we can rethink this and use the correct agents in the calls in order to delegate the task. There we go. This ensures git commits. There we go. Now I see the right agent list. That's what you What did it say? You're absolutely correct. Love how it's always trying to be agreeable. Okay. Cool. Let's go into execution mode. So now that we're in here, we're going to start seeing it kind of work through a real task list. And again, that's where we go from feature to task list. It's going to work through that a little bit more efficiently because, we're switching up the context to use these sub-agents. So they're going to split the work. Once it's ready, Eddie. Then we're going to see it start spinning up sub-agents. So we're going to see for whatever we're going to use later on, it's going to start spinning them up. Let's wake up these agents. And if you really wanted to, you can actually watch the whole thing work. But I don't. The skadoosh. this guy working. I'm probably going to open this back up when it's necessary. So we updated the task list. Boy, these kids, man, they bring home all kinds of germs. I've been sneezing all day, my chest hurt, and not the best right now. Is it spinning them up yet? Not yet. Still working through some things. Oh, here we go. So it's creating the sub-agent plan. What we're doing right now is working through some planning. So you can see it's, again, we're going down to the feature level. So we can see some delegation, who's going to do what tasks. And then we're going to see some updates. So right now it's just working through who's doing what. And then once it gets through who's doing what, it's going to start executing. Again, all the context at every level, it just goes down to a smaller chunk until we have an exact execution, which uses a fraction. It's going to use a fraction of the context that it was there before. So we progressively use less and less context. And again, we are building the Agentic Commerce Protocol that was released by OpenAI and Stripe September 29th, which allows you to sell whatever commerce items directly in ChatGPT, or use a protocol to sell online. So we're going to be implementing this Agentic Commerce Protocol for a client and be one of the first to use it. And I think right now it's a bit of a uphill battle to figure it out. I mean, you would probably have to just run through this video to learn how to do it. But eventually, because we can see that Stripe is taking on marketplaces. So there are marketplaces that are currently building right now that don't exist. It's crazy that there's platforms that don't exist that will exist. And their whole purpose is to provide a space for you to create agentic commerce, a space for you to do sales right inside of someone searching in ChatGPT for your business. There are platforms that are being built right now that there was no revenue stream that existed for it, and now just like that it exists. All right, now we're spinning up these subagents. Who's gonna now do all the work? Our Next.js backend developer. I'll let that cook. Usually it does that if I'm like showing the checklist, so I turn the checklist off and then we can just see it. And then we'll see how this progresses. Now we can see it's using a more advanced model, but it doesn't need a bunch of tokens. It's not going to use a bunch of tokens either. Yes, I'm just going to let it run and do its thing. It knows where to build stuff. It knows what to do. It knows the changes that it's going to. So we're logging all the changes that it's going to make on the system. We get slot counts. We know how much code is going to be added in any given thing. This is all like really, really well documented. Yeah. Task dedication sub-agent plan. And then we already have the plan for what these guys are going to do. And they're going to just work through this plan. And at the end of all this, we are done. This is just for the first phase structure. And if I'm really looking at it, it will probably go feature related context, and it'll go phase related context, task related context, and then agent related context. We probably skip that though. So we see in parallel, these guys are all working on updating code at the exact same time. So we go to source, and we can see these guys are cooking. My big thing is usually, I don't like a bunch of stuff in my route file, man. Keep my route file clean. There we go. What you won't see, it goes right into using a lib directory. So I like to keep the weight outside of that. Like, let's separate our concerns. My router should be concerned with inputs. It should be concerned with what it's going to say as an output. So the object, the JSON response, it should be concerned with the statuses. It shouldn't be concerned with data transformation. Let something else, let a service layer be concerned with it. Let a controller be concerned with it, but don't let our router be concerned with data transformation. So I like to keep that clean. And it makes it easier to write documentation for our router. Boom. And our git commit is already done. So we're already through phase one. Jeez, come on. Yes. Now let's run our git commit. So now we can look here. We've already committed code. All right. You know what's in there. A whole bunch of stuff. Boom. Now we're on to the next one. Now you see this thing was done in 3 minutes. 28,000 tokens. At the execution level, it is super efficient. If we look at our last client task, this was 1.5 million tokens total. Completion tokens, 23,000. Prompt tokens, 1.5 million. It's a lot of work that went through here. $1. I mean, mine only came out to $1.32. But for $1.32, look at the conversion on that. That's like, that's insane that we can actually run software development for less than $5 a feature. I mean, these, if you were to build these features out, it would be way more expensive and it would cost me way more time. But for $1, I can do $1. Don't know what this thing is called, but this is what we're doing. And I feel like this is like a super efficient way at actually executing on what happens in your code. Now 2 tasks are done. Remember the other one, 35,000 tokens, 35,000 tokens. We're sitting under, all 3 of them done. We're sitting under 100,000 tokens. Total completion. Okay, got everything in there. Now it's locked in for the next one. Let's go. One of the things I would say, like, this is the part that is just like not so interesting because it just works. So it tends to be pretty boring because it just works. All of our docs, our globals, all taken care of. It's not too much going on right now. All of our files have been separated. All concerns are addressed. This is our app. Just keeping it really simple. Great. They're great. Can't help it if I wanted to. Can't help it if I could. Can't help it if I wanted to. Can't help it no. This thing is just balling through this code, using tool calls, using whatever at its fingertips, just chugging through. We have our types, which we're probably going to use later. All right, let's close this out. Again, we don't need client right now. I was just using that for example purposes. But it should create everything we need. And where are we? Oh, don't want to lose it. Don't let it go. Let it go. Let it go. All right, let's go check out our task list. So we've gone through 0, we've gone through 1. Now we're on the product feed. Well, precursor to the product feed, which is generating products. Then we're going to do product feed, where we add all of these things with the cron job, all that good stuff. We're going to drop that there, and then we're going to host this probably on render. I'm going to host this on render. And then we're going to run the checkout API. We probably get to this guy, and then I'm gonna call it a night. And then tomorrow, get up, execute on this one, and then probably by Friday, execute on these two. And then by Saturday, we be ready to go live. We live, baby. So it's just working through all this. And then we have a working checklist. And by the end of it, we can say we have implemented ACP protocol, generate test plan. We've generated tests for the ACP protocol. We have the protocol, and we can run it live in an application if need be. and beautifully executed. All right, 48,000 tokens. We've gotten through that. And mind you, we're not using the latest. We are using the latest and greatest model. So we're not using the latest. No, I don't think we are. I think we might be using, you know, in ProMox, we might be using Sonnet 1M. No, I changed those to Opus. Yeah, the sub-agents are using Opus. But look how tight these contexts are. You know, you got an Opus when you have 200,000 tokens as your context window, it pays to keep it tight. And even though I'm running multiple tasks in parallel, because this isn't just one task, this is multiple tasks in parallel. I'm running multiple tasks in parallel, but I'm still managed to efficiently use less tokens. I don't know how many tokens it is per task. Probably not more than 12,000 tokens per task. And so it's efficiently dividing the work up and getting through these tokens. And we're not making massive code changes. I mean, look at that, 151 insertions. We're not making massive code changes. We're working efficiently because it's using my workflow. And my workflow has strict coding rules. And in those strict coding rules, we do it right. And when we do it right, one, we don't have to redo it. Code is understandable. Code is easy to reason about. We can see the updates as it went through phase one. And now starting the next. Again, looking at the chart, we work through it, we do the evals, we get the update that goes right back up. So now we got these updates that are going to eventually update. We get here, we run success, and we're going to update the documents. Right now we're just working through it. So as we work our way through it, all this stuff is getting generated. Once it's ready, boom, we turn it on. And that's it, people. It's a ridiculous workflow. But it's good. We always have context awareness at any time. And typically you would think, well, if Claude is doing it, then Klein has no awareness of it. My friend. That's where you're wrong. Claude knows how to do it too and keep the memory in context. I'm gonna get through this. I'm calling it a night, people. I gotta rest up. Get back at it again with the white bands. Do it all again tomorrow. Still gotta work, make sure this gets placed inside of the folder. Right now it's like generates it outside. It's really weird. These are all the scripts outside of this thing. Notice how they keep a lid on this 350 rule. Oh man, this one went over. Not very much, but it went over. Yep. Alright, it's going to return the full object. Alright, one task is already done. Pricing calculator is done. And it took 38,000 tokens. What do we have there? well-structured, well-organized code. Next task is done. Product variation generator. 48,000. Product generator. Boom. Yeah, solid. The feature's getting done. It's clean. Couldn't ask for better execution. And our last task to be done. I'm gonna make a smaller, more compact version of this. Oh, there's an error? Can't do errors. Please fix it. And again, we're doing strict typing, so I'm glad it's able to catch it. Done. No? I thought I was about to say done. Got one more wedding this year, too. Can't wait. How many got next year? Got one wedding this year, one wedding next year. 2 weddings next year, I'm sorry. 2 weddings next year. That's when you know you're tired. You start talking about things that have nothing to do with anything. But like I said, this stuff isn't all that interesting beyond that point. We see our commits are going in. It's doing the things that we told it to do, man. That's it. We got our commits. We got automatic commits. They just come in because they're supposed to. And it allows us to go back. So if ever we need to go backwards through a task that was done or wasn't done correctly, oftentimes what people are doing is they have these massive code commits and they're submitting to repos. We don't want massive code commits. Who's reviewing these massive code commits? Now we got to lean on AI to do the code review because there's no human can read through all that crap. And then the files are so large individually. You have 1,000-line files. I mean, look at what we're committing here. You got 1,000-line files that nobody can possibly read. Structure. Provide your prompts with structure, and you consolidate the amount of space you need in the file. You consolidate the amount of tokens you need to execute on the file. You can consolidate the amount of energy it takes to reason about and read through the stuff that you're building as a human. And if it's easier for you to do it as a human, it's probably going to be easier for the AI to do it too. So we've gotten to the end of this thing. We've got our QA engineer just validating everything is what it is. Everything is what it is. And then go crazy. Go crazy. How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. I tried that love thing for the last time. I don't know. Wow. All right, let's see. Where are we? Oh, snaps. Thanks, Greg. Got somebody on this late. I appreciate you checking me out. I'm checking out the live feed. Let's see what we got. It is still working. So I think we're on the last set of tasks. It should be, at least, that we're working through. And again, we're just looking at, this has been so efficient with working through tokens. We're not using a bunch of them. And it's really great at just like getting us to the execution and still QAing our code and making sure we're doing things well. Group C completion report. There was a completion report. Boom. There we go. As things happen, I guess it's all just getting dropped in here. Lots of production ready code. Gotta look into that. That doesn't actually make sense at all. But it's already done. 26,000 tokens. This is, I mean, this logic, I don't know. I feel like it's genius. Or maybe it's too much. Maybe I am out of my element, and working through a system like this, it kind of looks like a waterfall, but again, these things are working in parallel. So it's not like one thing is working at a time. There's, once you've gotten to this point, well, from here, it's spinning off multiple workers. So we're seeing spinning off multiple workers, but within these workers, they're spinning off a bunch of stuff to do multiple tasks at a time. And then once they get together and everything's there, we're seeing this happen, which is what we're seeing here. All that stuff is being committed. And then while that stuff is happening, we're creating a report. We have our report logic, so we know what happens in the meantime. All that logic goes right back up. As it's going back up, we're evaluating it and sending that right back up to the full context. So as we get to the end of this whole thing being done, it's just total awareness of everything that happened. And we update the entire system. Nothing stepped on anybody. And boom, you have a whole feature. You have everything that needs to be known. All your commits are in. No developer. Imagine this now. You have a team of developers. This isn't one developer. You have a team of developers working under the same code base. The commits are coming in. They're doing the same stuff. Now everybody's flying through this stuff at the same time, and we're keeping the context of the code up to date. So everybody's AI individually is aware of what's happening in this box as it's getting committed and pushed up. So we have these context awareness things that are happening, and they're getting pushed up, and we have this like funnel that's constantly being fed. Done, 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 done. Look at the token usage. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We're never going to hit 200K. I won't say never, but I don't know how we do it. Like, I don't know how we hit 200K. And honestly, if I can make it more efficient somewhere in this loop, I would ideally cut this in half and get this done with half the space. And genuinely, I probably could if I just like ran it with some Chinese model. But you know, no, I can't run it with some Chinese model. That's what Klein would do. If I ran it in Klein if I figure, I don't know if they have like, I think they do have subtasks, but I don't know if they can run it in parallel the same way Claude does it. Here we go. More commits. Launching group E, polish and documentation. I think we're getting to the last bit. Yeah, code reviewer. So we might be getting to the last bit. I'm still sniffing. See how I feel in the morning after some sleep. Or if I have less sniffing on my mind. Got the tissue just in case. Final code review and documentation. Okay, looks like it's ready. And so I guess it's running through all of these e-tests. Oh, it's writing tests. Ooh, let me find out. Let me find out. Script, generate product. What stuff we got in here? Quite a bit. Solid. Homie really don't play that. Solid. Salad. 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 Efficiency, man. Look at the file size. It's efficiency. You don't have to be some scholar to read through this. Or some super memory genius. All the information's available and understandable. Jeez, except that one. But even the times they were over, I'm not going to justify it. There are going to be some outliers that are over. It's over by 30 lines. But we can always improve those outliers. What else do we have in here? Validation. I know validation good. I ain't got to think about that. You don't have massive validators. I follow what it means. I wish upon no one and I sin. Ambition or star, very long. Boom. Any new APIs? Or it's all the same? It's all the same. Oh, snap. I didn't even see this. Off in this world. Alright, so our Next.js is done. 4 minutes. Got to about 70K in tokens. That's not bad. See how our QA engineer does. I think our code reviewer might go over. Yeah. Ooh, you did some linting? That's what's up. Yeah. Ooh. Do I have a task list running? Let me see something. No, I don't. I don't. Sitting on I don't. Okay. Yeah. Ooh. So I'm on the final 2 items in our checklist. Our QA engineer is done. 70,000 tokens. Our next backend developer is done. 70,000 tokens. See how our code reviewer land out. Each individual one has its own context. They're running in parallel. They have their own context. They're all can hit 200K individually, but they will not. Not a chance. Waiting for group E. There we go. Add docs to code review. Boom. Do you believe in love? In the power that it gives? I wanna love you for life. I get tired, man. Random songs. Just random. Who knows how many different random songs that I'm drummed up. Okay, here we go. We're almost done, people. With step 1. UX polish output, blah, 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 blah. Task E, delivered a professional UX enhancement. Manual now production ready with full documentation. Let's update the to-do list. Let's update the to-do list, baby. Come on. I see you. Come on, baby. Let's update the list. So everything about this phase, or really all of the work is in here. Everything about all the work is in here. I didn't need that folder. Not sure if there needs to be a phase 1 summary. I think the whole dang thing is done. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the whole thing is done. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we hit this entire list. But let's see what happens once the context comes up. So right now we're in this right into this loop, and we're bringing everything back up. And then once we see everything back up, we'll know. For sure. All right. So the thing that I mentioned was that this thing could memory bank update. This thing could run the updates themselves. So I could run the updates in Client. Or I can just run it right now. This is what I'll do. Well, let me find out. So it reads them simultaneously. Does it update everything simultaneously? Or in parallel? I don't think it will. Now that we've moved up, again, we're back at the higher level, higher order of context. So we don't need, we got to make sure everything that's defined is moving everything as it should because it has the proper context. It's going to move everything back upwards. I wanna love you good love's where I live. Boom. So while I was doing that, I'm going to do Document Hub. Split the screen. And here's where, as I'm closing out the documentation, like I'm just going to hit them all at the same time. They're reading from the same files, but they're only updating in two different folders. I can run them both. Do your thing, chicken wing. What time is it? It has been about 2 hours. Perfect. Comprehensive updates. Boom. Memory bank updated. 6 for 6. Capture what was accomplished. Key metrics. Let's look at this. 6001. Created 28. Documentation. GitHub. Code quality 8.4. Test coverage 75%. Parallel efficiency 57% time reduction. Massive time reduction. Stripe product generator is complete. CLI with 6 parameters. AI content generation. Multivariate system. Validation layer. Error handling and retry logic. Professional UX features. Complete documentation. What's next? Configure the DeepSeek API. Fix 16 strict mode validation. Good Lord. Violations complete end to end. I'm so tired. I can't even say violations. Plan phase 2. ACP checkout payment. Yeah, I'm gonna let that ride. So this is all the context going back up. Now that we've gone to this loop to phase 1, we're sending all this context back up. We understand as it's sending it back up, we're going to see some new stuff. So if I go with Markdown preview, we can see the ecosystem, what's involved, what we're going to get out of it, what we want out of it, what databases we got to care about, product discovery, ACP protocol, commerce backend, all that. Checkout flow. We've established all of that, like, so we know what has to happen. This is going to get more comprehensive, but this is what it knows to build. No matter what I do, all I think about is you. Even when I'm with my boo, I'm crazy over you. I love you. Ooh, all right, let's see what we got. Almost done. This is, let's call it a course. Oh, we're just waiting for the document to update. In what, 1 hour we can call this thing done. Let me see, got through it. Tech context. Oh, this thing going crazy right now. Eesh. Eesh. Man, it's the part, boy. Updating core code. Where am I? That's the memory bank. I don't do get updates out of these ones. $975. I'm okay with that when it comes to documentation. Just not when it comes to my code. Where are we landing, people? I'm telling you, as soon as this thing lands, I'm out. I have committed so much to this already. Boom, boom, boom. Man, I don't think I ever created that. So it's created as client docs. So it knows to reset the memory. I forgot to even do that. It's crazy. It remembers to do things I forgot to do. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It's funny. I started talking to the voice, the inner voice I'm having a dialogue with. But I said that out loud, which means it is time for bed. It's not even running. Why do you tell me you're running when you're not running? Jeez, what is it going through? right, let's do this. We're done here. Tomorrow we come back to this, see where we are. Again, we've updated back to the full context. So now when we see our system, open and preview. Now when we see our system architecture, it's a little bit more complete. We know who's doing what, when, and where. We have ideas of how the charts are breaking down, what routes we need to have readily and available. We know all these things now. Boom, Next.js router. JSON. We're going to break down the remaining pieces as part of this protocol. But it's here. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. So 'tis all. Until the next one, we are going to go through. So now we have a method for creating products. Now we're going to generate products, and then we're going to go through the first phase of this thing, which is is product feed, and then we're going to go to checkout, and then we're going to go to payment integration, security PCI. Most of that's kind of covered by Stripe. Observability. Looking at the UX, legal and consent, and all of this will be done already inside of our test plan. Yeah, man, this is dope. So let's keep this going. We'll have something inside of Agentic Commerce Protocol in no time. Thank you all, folks.